BYD just launched two new car brands, two new electric SUVs, one of which is, to be fair, one of the most impressive electric cars the world has ever seen. And in the same day, we find out that they've now replaced Ford as, well, one of the biggest car manufacturers in the world. In fact, BYD is now the world's fourth best-selling car manufacturer. This rise has been truly staggering. Here are the numbers. Here is what has happened to Ford and what is happening to BYD and what is happening to all the competition. It's a little bit concerning if you're competing with BYD. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. I like to basically pay attention to disruption. We've seen incredible disruption. In fact, this year there's now 25 countries which have reached this pivot point, this disruption point of more than 5% EV adoption. In fact, there's every single state in North America has now hit it, except for Ohio. Ohio is at 4%. Every other state in the US has already passed that pivot point. So, BYD has well and truly played a big role in this. And interestingly, BYD's CEO in North America just made some comments which I think are worth paying attention to. Anyway, that's in a different video that I've just filmed. BYD has replaced Ford as the world's fourth best-selling auto brand last month. That's probably going to be even greater this month when you think about it. Ford has obviously been hit with union issues. Production, therefore, it's been slower, significantly slower this month. BYD, on the other hand, has in fact ramped production over the past few weeks. That's what they generally do. As the end of the year comes to be closer, third and fourth quarter of the year, BYD sales always have a significant increase. And in other words, BYD is doing that right now. Ford is doing the opposite. So this gap now is actually growing between BYD and Ford. However, in August, vehicle sales in 37 markets worldwide totaled 5.55 million units, which was an increase of 1% from July. And the top 10 auto brands was the same as last month. Toyota was first, Volkswagen Group was second, Honda was also third. How long before BYD take over Honda? In my opinion, it will happen within 6 months. A lot of people think that's mental. How can you make that kind of insane prediction? Honda, they're in third place. BYD taking over Honda. Well, think about this. Honda, China is a key market for them. In fact, it's their most important market. Where are they losing sales at a fast rate? In fact, incredibly fast. 25% sales decline for Honda in China this year. It's not slowing down. BYD sales are increasing. Honda's sales are contracting. It's only a matter of time before BYD takes over Honda and takes third place worldwide. It's been an incredible, in fact, a meteoric rise. I first started reporting on BYD when I started this channel. No one had even heard of them. It was only 2 years ago. August is also a slow month for the Japanese car market. That's worth considering. So Japanese car makers saw sales drop in their home countries. And overall, Toyota saw a 2.6% monthly decline. Honda saw slight growth of 0.8%, but Honda they've had a pretty bad year so far this year worldwide. Of course, most of that is because of their abysmal performance in China. Chinese automaker BYD replaced Ford as the fourth best-selling car brand in August. I don't believe that's ever going to be reversed. Maybe January, in fact, it's possible because January is always a very slow month in China. January, February, maybe not. But that's probably the only 2 months over the next 10 years, 20 years history, probably, where Ford may regain back that fourth place title. January, February of 2024. I'd say after that, it's basically lights out, game over. Now, what do you guys think about that? Let me know if you agree in the comments. Now, what are the key reasons for this? TrendForce says BYD is creating the disruption, and therefore they're immune to all the big issues going on, particularly in China. They said poor domestic demand in China has less of an impact on BYD. In fact, it's had almost no impact because it has switched all of its vehicle models to new energy vehicles. In other words, it only sells plug-in hybrids and fully electric cars, around 50% fully electric, around 50% plug-in hybrid. And of course, they've had huge demand for those vehicles. Now, there is huge numbers of excess vehicle production in China. BYD has to contend with that. They're doing a pretty damn good job of that. It's been remarkable. BYD's August sales were up 5% from the previous month of July, says cnevpost.com. Its market share was 0.1% shy of third place Honda. In other words, BYD was this close to unseating Honda and taking third place worldwide in the month of August. That's staggering. Given that markets including Southeast Asia contribute to Japanese automakers' sales, the key for BYD to overtake Honda in the global car market, says CNEV Post, is the speed of its expansion in overseas markets. It's trying to operate, to expand production. But I think one thing really needs to happen for BYD for this to happen, for them to be able to really increase their sales. Right-hand drive car markets, they're not really targeted by global automakers because there's not enough people in those countries. But BYD has the ability to access those markets. Now, for one, they do have a right-hand drive production facility in China, but they're planning on building a big EV factory in Thailand. That's where most right-hand drive cars are manufactured. Not most, but a very large number of them. So when BYD have that factory up and running in Thailand, I think they're going to have a lot of access to car markets. Thailand, the car market in Thailand, it's actually a pretty big car market. Australia, New Zealand, the UK is right-hand drive. So there's quite a few countries there that will, I believe, buy a lot of BYD cars when they're able to at affordable prices. And the truth is, BYD cars, they're still not that well known in Europe. It's going to take a little while for European customers to really get their head around this brand, but they'll hear about them soon and probably start having a look at them over the next few months. But so far, BYD sales in Europe have been pretty abysmal, pretty pitiful. That, I believe, though, will probably change over the next year. Ford slipped to number 6, though. This is a bit of a worry. Ford, this is before the union shutdowns. So Ford could have even slipped even further than that over this month. And it means sales have declined 7% month on month for Ford. While autumn model launches or fall model launches will help new car sales, there are still many variables everywhere, including the fact that the UAW have basically gone on strike. That strike is only going to get worse. It's growing. And while Ford has really put their EV production sort of on hold a little bit because Mustang Mach-E, they've made too many of them. There's not enough demand for them in the US, which is their main place of sale. And they're a bit too expensive outside of North America. In the US, Mustang Mach-E starts at around $42,000 US. Now, if they were selling it for that price in Australia, I can tell you now, there would be huge numbers of sales in Australia, but they're not. They're selling them at a minimum of 80,000 Australian dollars. It's around, $58,000 US. It's a lot more expensive in Australia than it is in the United States. I don't think Ford Mustang Mach-E will help the brand very much because its price is too high outside of North America. Another kind of issue Ford will be facing over the coming years as they try to move away from internal combustion to EVs. But remember, keep in mind, only around 3.2% of Ford's global sales are currently electric. So they will be disrupted by companies like BYD and Tesla. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.